Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Somewhere on this page, what I want you to do is put in I want you to write triangle congruence tests. Because that's what these are. And just so whoever's watching this video can understand, we made a foldable where you have 5. Well, it's not really a foldable. It's kind of like a window thing here. We just folded a piece of paper in half. You could do it long ways or vertical or horizontally. We did this. Mine is vertical. And we made 4 cuts to the fold. And that gave us 5 windows we can open up. Now, these are the big tests that we're going to use to prove that triangles are congruent to each other. Because yesterday when we discussed congruency and triangle congruency, we talked about how triangles were congruent if all 3 angles in one triangle were congruent to their corresponding angles in a second triangle, and all 3 sides were congruent to all 3 sides in the other one. Well, it turns out that it doesn't matter as much. And what we're going to do is we're going to define these tests, and then we're going to start looking at different ways and examples of what we're going to do with these tests. So the first test, SSS, I'll put up here kind of like a key. S is equal to side. A is equal to angle. H is equal to hypotenuse. And L is equal to leg. So if I zoom this in a little bit, and we're going to focus on these different hopefully this won't mess up anything. Alright, so you got your key, and so whenever you see an S, this is going to refer to side. And so this would be like side, angle, side. So let's take a look at SSS, side, side, side. That's what this means. So when we open it up, we can say to ourselves, SSS is equal to side, side, side. And this test tells us if 3 sides in one triangle are congruent to 3 sides, and I forgot to put corresponding, so I'll put CORR, to 3 corresponding sides in another triangle. The triangles are congruent. So this is kind of like the words behind this. Now, do we have to know anything about the angles? No. You don't need to know anything at all about the angles in order for side, side, side to work. Now for side, 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 if you have triangle, just make two triangles that look about the same. Because and this is triangle ABC. So A, B, C. And this is triangle DEF. D, E, F. You do the best you can. If I know that, in this case, AB is congruent to DE, I know BC is congruent to DE, or EF, so BC is congruent to segment EF, and this is the case here. Segment AC is congruent to segment DF. That tells me that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. And we don't need to know anything about the sides. We don't need to know anything at all about the sides. I mean the angles. We know that the sides are congruent. The angles, because the relationship between the sides and the angles are so, they're bound together so tightly, as soon as we get the three sides here corresponding to these three sides, the angles are going to be equal to each other. And therefore, if all the corresponding angles are equal, all of them are going to be congruent. And we can say that the triangles are going to be congruent. So, does that make sense for side, side, side? Now remember, the name of the test is going to be what you need to find in the test. And the order of the letters, remember the order of the names are important. When we have A, B, C, and D, E, F, A corresponds to D, B to E, and C to F. The order of the letters in the test matter. If it's side, 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 you have three sides in a row. If it's side, angle, side, you have a side, then you have an angle, and then you have the side right next door. So it's going to form a certain part of it. So let's take a look at the next one. Side, side, side. But first, any questions on, side, angle, side. Any questions on side, side, side? Nope. All right, we'll close side, 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 open up side, angle, side. And side, angle, side, I think is a lot better if we go with the picture first. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to draw my two triangles that look remotely similar. There's a side. Here's an angle. Now, where do you think the other side's going to be? Is it going to be this side, or is it going to be this side? The first side or the second side? Uh-oh, I hear first and second. It's going to be the second. Because it goes side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. I call this the corner theorem. And so this better be congruent to a corner in this. I call this the corner test. Because you have to come up with a corner. Now, the wording is a little bit weird. If two sides and the included angle of a triangle, that's two sides, and this is right here the included angle, because it's included between the two sides. That angle, and the name of it, side, angle, side, the angle is in between two sides. So those two sides have to be right next to each other, but there's an angle stuffed in between. So there's side, there's angle, there's side. So if two sides in the included angle of a triangle are congruent to two sides and the included angle of a second triangle, the two triangles are congruent. So it's all about, like I say, I call it the corner test. And side, angle, side. That's what we get from it. Side, angle, side. Now we have the fancy words for it right here. But I think the picture tells the story a little bit better than the other ones. Now, are we okay with that one? We'll do one more. I'll leave that one open. And we'll talk about angle, side, angle. Now, this is angle